So the next clip here, or the next adverse situation or non-challenging situation, is nighttime driving. I talked about how you need to be an experienced driver in order to nighttime drive because it is much harder to see at night. Very obvious statement, but I think we don't realize exactly how much we take for granted with our eyesight until you start night driving. And we don't realize how hard it is on your eyes. It creates a lot of eye strain and it can make you very tired as your eyes are constantly adjusting to the light. So the reason why night driving makes it really difficult and creates all that eye strain, not only because you can't see, but also because your pupils are constantly adjusting. They're dilating and undilating to all the different flashes of light. So if you're in really dark driving and it's just you, everything's fine, your eyes have adjusted. And then there's a vehicle coming from the oncoming direction and they have really bright lights. It flashes you, could potentially temporarily blind you for a second, and your eyes, until they adjust to that light again, to the brightness, and then every time, and then the car goes, and then you have to adjust back to the dark light again. So that transition of light and dark and light and really bright, it really, really puts a strain on your eyes. So it's really important to take your time. The best thing to do at nighttime is just slow down. Slow down 5 or 10 kilometers under the speed limit, even farther if you have to. Go down 20 kilometers if you need to. Hi, Caddy. We're here, we're doing nighttime driving. So be aware that daytime running lights or your parking lights, there's different terms, but most newer vehicles within the last 10 years, if your car's been built within the last 10 or 20 years, most of them are equipped with daytime running lights, which means as you turn on your vehicle, there is a bit of lights on the front of your car. However, that is not your those are not your actual headlights. Those are daytime running lights, are different than your headlights. You actually have to turn on your headlights because they're brighter for nighttime driving. As well, your daytime running lights do not include your tail lights in the back and your dashboard lights in the front, so you can see all the gauges. So you actually have to turn on your headlights so that drivers in the back can see your lights as well. So in the back, you can see in this picture here, up in front, there's a vehicle with red lights on, and you can see that there's a car there, but you can only see the lights. That's really all you're seeing. You're seeing these little red lights. That's signaling to other drivers that there's a car up ahead and maybe to increase your distance or to slow down. So those lights are very important to put on at night. You can't just depend on lights. So if you're traveling at a speed that does not let you see an object in time to stop, that means you're overdriving your headlights. So I'm going to show you a video of what that means. But basically, when you do shine your headlights, there's only you can't see everything like in the daytime. You can only see a certain distance in front of your car. And that's why we usually have high beams and low beams. High beams will let you see more than low beams because the high beams are pointed up farther, low beams are pointed down to the ground. But we're going to talk about when to use high beams and when to use low beams. But the takeaway here is if you do see this term on your exam, overdriving your headlights, that means you're going faster than your headlights can see. Like you're going faster than you can react to something. So if you were nighttime driving and your headlights are on and then a deer jumps out and you didn't have enough time to slow down, that means you were going too fast. You were overdriving your headlights. So best thing to do, again, slow down, reduce your speed, and just drive to as comfortable as you need to on the road. Okay, so rain and hydroplaning. Similar, you can get into a skid situation if it's raining outside. And there's an actual term that you might see on your exam called hydroplaning. So what is hydroplaning? Hydroplaning is what happens to your vehicle when you're on wet roads. And it's when your tires have lost contact with the pavement. And typically there's a layer of water in between your tire and the pavement. So that the tread on tires of your vehicle, they're designed, those grooves and stuff on it are actually designed to remove water as you drive. But sometimes if there's heavy water, there's too much water that your vehicle can't process as much, and you end up kind of floating on the water. It seems weird that a whole car would be floating. It's just very minuscule. It's not something you can actually see with your eye, but you can definitely feel it. When you get into your car and you feel yourself hydroplane, your car might actually shift over like a whole inch, or you can feel that you're kind of it feels like a little bit that you're sliding or floating on water. It's a weird situation. And again, the best way to handle them is to slow down. Slow down enough, and then you'll feel, once you slow down, you can start to feel how your tires are making contact back with the road again. So since direct contact is lost between the road surface and your tires, this can cause your vehicle to skid. And it's kind of like you're skiing on the water. So I'm going to show you guys, again, slow down. That's the only thing you get. But I'm going to show you guys another video about what that means, because it's hard. One thing for me to tell you that you're floating, but this is exactly what it looks like on a vehicle. Yeah, so there's a lot of things they're saying in that video. Traction control, like they said, that controls how much your tires could spin when you accelerate. And then ABS, we talked about anti-lock braking system. And in those situations of raining, hydroplaning, they're very similar to skid, where you don't want to put the brakes. You want to steer in the direction you want to go. You can slow your vehicle down by taking your foot off the brake and then make minor adjustments from there. It's also an American video, so we talked about a penny, but that tip still works if you wanted to use just a coin of some kind. You want to have some tread depth on your tires. If it's bald or there's nothing there, you're going to have a really hard time driving safely on certain roads. So hydroplaning, very similar to skidding in that you never want to brake and you never want to panic. And if you're not feeling comfortable to drive in those conditions, they recommend that you pull over, and you can always pull over to the side of the road or a roadside turnout, and you can wait for the rain to let up a little bit, or wait for the storm to pass, or plan to not travel that day and maybe push your travel plans till the next day. Those are always the best situations. But if you try to avoid those really challenging driving conditions, don't think your car can go through everything, because even Caddy said with even trucks and stuff, I think he has a truck, and his and with 4-wheel drive and probably lots of good tread, and he was even sliding on ringing and things like that. So you don't want to assume that your car can just handle everything, and you as a driver can handle everything. It's very scary when you get into those situations, and it's a headache to try to deal with a collision or going off the road. That's really scary situation. So that's why we're going through this. We want to prepare you guys to be able to handle these things, but the best thing is to plan ahead so you're not in these situations.